Still working on the Life Portfolio series. Today, we are still going to kind of piggyback off of the educational series because we do realize that this is like a blind spot for a lot of people.
Yes, indeed. We always want to speak on education. And the reason we want to talk about education is because it's important. Um, I'm sorry, but one of the other things we want to talk about is because people are in our community. They're highly educated, very educated, but we want to let people know that whether you go from university, that your education doesn't stop there. And we want to talk about some other ways that you can continually educate yourself, especially in this space of Bitcoin and investing, because things are changing rapidly. And so you need to stay up on the education of what's going on so that you can be on top of the information.
I think, too, people don't talk about this, but I'm just going to throw it out there because it's true. People tend to educate themselves the easiest way possible. So, what do I mean by that? If somebody reads a book that's a little bit more technical to their liking, they'll put the book down.
Mm.
They won't go out of their way to understand the book. They won't cross reference. They won't say, okay, I have no idea what they're talking about in this chapter. Let me take my time, break the chapter down,
Ah.
and gain a real understanding on what this is,
Mm-hmm.
and really self educate myself.
So let me ask you a question. In this space, the term due diligence is thrown around.
It's thrown around a lot, and that's why a lot of people are getting caught out there because part of what comes with due diligence is the challenge of having to learn something new, something unfamiliar to you. The market is math heavy, let's be
Mm.
honest. In a society where the average person is going to tell you, I'm not good in math, right? Your average American doesn't understand percentages, doesn't know how to calculate it, right? So if they go to the store and they see that this blouse is 30% off, they have no idea how much money is coming off of it. They just like, oh, it's a sale, let's buy it. But if you stopped and asked them, like, okay, this blouse costs $100, it's 30% off. How much money comes off the blouse? How
Well,
much are you
well,
saving?
you got to figure that one out. That's pretty cut and
Right?
dry.
You're
But
saving $30.
so when you say do due diligence, you mean
Like for
actually
real.
do the
Yes. Right? Look into the business. Is it a shell company? Is it a zombie company? I'm talking about the people who trade and claim that they know how to trade,
Uh-oh.
right? They're buying penny stocks, OTC stocks, and all of this other stuff. They think they're going to get a 10 bagger, 100 bagger, 300 bagger. They don't know anything about the things that they're trading.
Do they do that with these so-called alternative coins?
I'm sure that people, they'll watch a few YouTubers and be
Yeah.
like, "Yep, sounds good to me," and then they'll do,
Yeah.
whatever it is that they're doing. So we're just kind of hitting y'all with the real honest. We see these videos on, YouTube, Facebook, where they'll ask a random person on the street, "What is the capital of New York?" Right? And Muzz is like Brooklyn,
Yeah.
Long Island, like just crazy answers. What is the capital of the United States? They have no idea. Um,
The last dude said, "Is there a capital of the United States?" It's just like,
he did
oh,
ask.
brother.
He said, "I get we have like a headquarters, but I don't think the
Not
United States has a
headquarters.
capital." It was
What's the
crazy. It's
headquarters?
crazy. And I understand too, right? When we were talking about layoffs, especially where whole industries are dying, like retail.
Yeah, retail's
Brick and
starving.
mortar retail, you guys. I'm talking
Yeah.
about brick and mortar
Brick and
retail.
mortar retail's rough.
Um, they're replacing human beings. I'm going to read it in a minute.
Oh,
They're
okay.
replacing human beings with AI and stuff. You're going to have to challenge yourself to learn a new skill in order to have a competitive advantage in a new industry.
This is indeed, and also with also that comes is people. What I've talked about, people being aged out the market a little earlier than they expect.
I don't know how to use a computer.
Yeah,
Well,
so people are getting aged out the market. We've seen that in a few examples. You think that you can work till you're 62, 65, 67, but people are getting aged out the market because you can just hire somebody younger, fresher, with more knowledge and pay them less. And
an easier ability to train them in a new skill.
yes. So what you said earlier is we talking about Sean, an ability to take orders and commands without questions, where somebody a little older commands a higher salary and doesn't want to be told
they want a more autonomous work environment.
And so you definitely got to look out for that. Now, I'll let her read somebody.
If you know, you know. How you doing? It says, hi, family. I reached my first silver goal. We are making goals that I set from your third episode on the Gentleman of Crypto. Let's give, if you know, a round of applause. We love that.
Episode 3?
And it might be their third episode. Keep that in mind.
Oh, okay. So, wow, that's way back.
So hubby and I, and we're not getting off the path, but we're going to come off the path a little bit. Hubby and I, every Saturday, this is my accountability partner.
Yeah.
And this is my mentor and my teacher and my everything, right? Y'all know. I'm not one of those women who is ashamed to say her husband got to teach her everything. I ain't ashamed to say it at all. I appreciate it too. I thank God, like he knew, like give this girl some direction. Hubby and I, let's talk about goals real quick, right? Because if we're talking about life portfolio and education, you know what I'm looking for, baby.
Oh, your goal books? I don't know if you Yeah, we have goals that we set.
We have goals that we set.
And we go over them weekly.
Every Saturday. So tonight is our goal night. We get all comfy and lovey-dovey, and we go over the goals that we met this week, right? So we do it weekly. And we have a very vibrant discussion on the goals we're having trouble with, right? So if you know, that's incredible. We applaud you. We'd love to hear that. Keep sharing your benchmarks with us. This is my goal book. If you know, it's called the Achievers Planner. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Panda planners, but Panda planners have a variety of planners, some daily, some monthly, some for your career, some for your personal and your career. The Achievers Planner is a more balanced planner. Okay. So it helps to balance your personal goals and your occupational goals or your weight goals or your budget goals or whatever.
Exactly.
I'm not sponsored by them. I'm just giving y'all a good resource to use if this is something that you're interested in doing. So the first part of the planner is the Clever Fox 13-week Ultimate Achievers Planner. It's about $40 on Amazon. They have like 5, I call it vision boards. I'm going to call it vision boards. They have like 5 vision boards. And so my first vision board is for health. It comes with a whole bunch of stickers. And then you go in and you plug the information in. You put your stickers in there, make it look real pretty. That's health. This is my personal development, real pretty. This is my career development, so my occupational goals. Financial goals, right now, it's kind of blank because Simon and I, our financial goals are, I don't want to call them complicated.
They are.
I don't want to call them complicated, but I don't do this one by myself. So I do the financial one with hubby, and that's what we're going to sit down and do tonight because we've been building them since the first. So that's the only reason why I set it up, but I'm absolutely not going to do this one by myself. This is my writing and publishing goal. Simon and I will be publishing a book this year. It's not going to be like a huge novel or anything, but it's definitely a productivity book that may informational. Yeah. So hubby and I are going to do that one together. It's not as complicated as our financial goals because there's still a few things we need to look over before we put our goals, set it in stone, I should say. So this one's already done. And then it comes with like the calendar. So you get the 4-month calendar. But then they have a weekly review, right? So they have the weekly review. I don't really use the weekly review, which is why it's so bare bones. I'm really more of a day to day kind of girl. And then hubby and I do the weekly review ourselves.
Okay.
So that doesn't get written down. But like, I'm just going to show you today's. As we're talking goals, if you know, you know, it may be something that you want to kind of write down so you can benchmark it. So for instance, let's say your silver goal for this week. Simon's silver goal for us is how many ounces? 3 ounces a week? 5 ounces a week?
Five.
It's 5 ounces a week, right?
Right.
So 20 ounces per month. And like whenever we buy it, I'll go ahead and put it in my journal that this is what we did. And you see it's all pretty, different color pens, stickers, to my personality. Hubby does everything in his head, and my head is crazy. Y'all know we women, he's only got one hormone. I have two. So I have to like get the stuff out the ether and kind of set it in stone so I can see it, right? So I'm just showing you these are things you can do. I do these every single day. And it just kind of helps to see what you're doing well with and what you may be struggling with, right? What keeps getting added onto your to do and actually not getting done.
Yeah, and that's why it's big on having an accountability partner, so somebody can say, "Hey, you're not getting this done, or you're doing a good job." You know, just
Or can help you work out a better way to get the thing done that you want to get
anything
done.
in the middle. So, as we were talking about, I'm sorry. Go ahead and I'm sorry.
Hi, dear bitch. She said, greetings, cousins.
Cousins. Hey, what's up, cousin?
Family just get bigger and bigger every
What
day.
up, cousin? We want to talk about education. And so one of my favorite education tools is edx.org. So where you can go on edx.org and you can get these free, well, they're not free. I'm sorry. Let me stop myself right there. You get these courses at a very nominal fee. And they become free if you do not want to have the official certificate. So, from my understanding, what this was created to do is to attach to your LinkedIn. So you can take just individual courses and attach it to your LinkedIn and say that you passed this course, and this is something you're doing personal development wise, or as far as occupational wise. You are taking this course to level up your information in your career field, and it's very, very. I mean, I think it's very. What do you tell me?
Yeah, I love EDX.
Yeah, and we even have our children take EDX courses, at the college level. Now these are at the college level, so I'll pull this up here.
Wait, it keeps. I'm sorry. It keeps auto correcting it. It's driving me nuts. Why are you doing this? Stop.
edx.org.
Yes.
Okay.
Dot org. I'm sorry, I got it this time, y'all. It's Apple.
Okay. And so here I will pull this up just to go over a couple of things that they have, right? I'm sorry I can't share our screen.
It just comes up as a blank screen on your end.
I
And we don't
believe
know
so.
why.
So new on
But
EDX.
first, tell them the schools that sponsor courses.
Oh yeah. No, they're right here. They're already right here.
Baby.
So EDX, so they're sponsored by MIT, which is Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Harvard,
It's the Berkeley School of Music.
So Cal Berkeley, we have Boston University, Google, and there's more if you hit the
University of Cambridge, Columbia University, Texas A&M, LSE, which is a school in London, you guys. For my Amazon Web Service people, shout y'all out. I'm an Amazon Web Service girl. They also have courses on Amazon Web Services, or say sponsored by the University of Queensland, IBM, Georgetown University, Georgia Tech, NYU, and over 250 leading institutions. We are not sponsored by them. We are simply giving this to you guys as a tool.
And so some of they have new on EDX. Artificial Intelligence Implication for Business Strategy through MIT. This is a course you could take. Higher Education teaching certificate through Harvard, artificial intelligence in healthcare through MIT again, and Oxford executive strategy programmer. These are, and that's coming from Oxford in the United Kingdom. And so these are very high end courses that you can take as far as personal development, but as far as professional development. You could put them on your resume, right? Put them on your LinkedIn. You
And
can
that
use it.
way, I'm sorry, sweetheart. I
Oh,
interrupted
sorry,
you.
sorry.
The certificate goes on LinkedIn. That way, you know, if you're interested in a new career, if you're interested in a new job, if you're trying to level up at work or whatever, and you may have to go somewhere else, everybody, there's visibility there, and that's proof that you actually took the course to employers. You want to understand that these are hours that you've invested into your education. So again, when we're talking about investments, sometimes investment isn't just money. Sometimes it is your time, which is the most precious commodity, right? These employers, for the people who do have career tracks and stuff like that, understand that you spend a significant amount of time investing into your education in order to do more, but you don't have to do it for a new job, right? You can invest in yourself and learn something new in order to help level yourself up to do something more dynamic.
Yeah, and as also as entrepreneurs, it goes on your resume. So when you maybe come to speak to people, or you have this on your resume that you are certified in this, certified in that, took a course on this, took a course on that, so that you can verify that you know what you are actually speaking about.
Right, that's good for sponsors, for
Mm-hmm.
content creators who are trying to get sponsorship.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great way when you're coming into a business dealing with the sponsor who's going to pay you X number of dollars, right, for X amount of content or time. You can show them, like, hey, your investment with me is good. Here's proof that this is my platform. This is what I do. This is what I talk about. This is the time I invested in this thing.
Mm.
And your investment in me, because I've already invested in myself, is legit. It's good to go, right? I'm not just going to be a talking head on YouTube. Um, so just kind of understanding the different ways that you can utilize whatever time you take in your educational goals. Again, we talk about a nominal fee. You don't need to take out a federal student loan in order to take these courses off of EDX.
You do not at all. And I'm glad that she said that, because what you also have is, for my people out here who want to get degrees. So if you're looking for a bachelor degree, you can go on EDX and you could go after a bachelor's degree. So right here we have a bachelor's degree of science in data science, business analysis from MIT, a bachelor's of science in what's that say? International relations.
Yeah, University of London.
University of London, bachelor of science in
Accounting and finance.
Oh, and let me stop right there, because I just read an article, not sidebar, about the need for accountants, and they're paying over six figures, and you get to work remotely. So being an accountant, I know it's boring, it's
And
numbers,
it's math heavy.
but people who are accountants or who are pursuing that, they're paying six figures right now, and you get to work from home. So over here we have a bachelor in economics and finance from, is that London?
That's the University of London again.
Yeah, so this is a bachelor's program that you can pursue on EDX. And you can also pursue master's programs if you already have a bachelor's at, like she said, a nominal fee. This is way to continually, develop yourself educationally, professionally, and personally. And, and I think it's very important, because you don't always have to educate yourself to gain more income. Sometimes you're educating yourself just for self knowledge.
Yeah, to like level yourself up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, it'll pay off in a different way later on, but it's not necessarily for money. That's why I said it's not always for a better job or a higher position or what have you. But at some point in time, it is going to pay itself off. The other thing I like about EDX is, so MIT is known for technology, right? You get to take whatever courses they have there that fit you. You don't have to get, it's not like you 18 and you got to get the letter that says you've been accepted, or worse, the letter that says you've been rejected, right? So you get to attend these schools, have these schools on your, I'm gonna call it your life portfolio resume. Whether it's for a career goal or a self-education goal, doesn't matter, right? I attended courses at MIT. They're known for technology. I can go right to the best of the best in this thing, right? Amazon Web Services is a big thing now, right? And there was a time before where only tech jobs had access to Amazon Web Service webinars and stuff. You had to kind of sort of know somebody who worked at the tech job in order to send you the registration. Now you can just go on EDX and do it. If you know that this particular school is the best in healthcare, then you can go right to that source on EDX and take that course from the school you know is best in healthcare initiatives. If you are somebody who knows that the University of London is one of the best schools to go to for writing and business communication, et cetera, because it's the Queen's English, then you go to that school for your writing. So you're able to really, I want to say, kind of specialize in certain areas, but go right to the source that you know is the best of the best. So it's a great way to diversify your self-education portfolio as well.
And she's right. And she mentioned that right there. Get right to the source. Because for all of us who went to college and know, there's a lot of ancillary courses that you took that had nothing to do with your degree plan.
They're called electives.
Right? You're trying to get right to your degree plan.
Yeah.
And you got to take this course or that course. This, like she said, is letting you get right to, what your specialty is, and let your employer or, prospective employers know that you're certified in this, you specialize in this, and they can expect you to be certified and specialize in it. Because you even heard Google said, I don't know, was it 25% of their employees that do not have college degrees. Elon Musk even said, hey, if you can do the job, we'll hire you. And even in my wife, in the tech industry, a lot of people want to know, can you do the job? Right? Doesn't matter this, that, and the third. Can you do the job? That's why these courses are very, I think, critical. Because when you see an older type of rubric of education, it can't keep up with the rate of change of the world. So where you get these courses right now, somebody just created this course right now, Harvard, MIT, you take that and you can go right to an employer, or if you're an entrepreneur, then you can flesh that out, as your content, and, have it on your resume as this is what you know and you specialize in.
I want to talk more to the entrepreneurs. So for those of you who have LLCs, if you're setting up a nonprofit, you have to do a business plan, a business proposal, right? You can add your scope of expertise, your scope of experience, your education to your 501c3 grant application if you're trying to get grants from certain places. If you're going to get a loan from a bank, you can add that on there to give you a more competitive edge, a more competitive advantage against the next person coming in. And this is the due diligence we be talking to y'all about, right? Due diligence is supposed to give you a competitive advantage. It's supposed to give you a competitive edge. It's supposed to help mitigate against risk. It is supposed to help you do that critical thinking aspect of whatever it is you're looking into in order to help you to level up in whatever it is that you're doing. So he wanted to do the education set with you guys so that you can really understand what we mean when we start talking about due diligence. You can start asking the right questions. You can start
Hmm.
filtering through bullshit ass answers, right? And it helps to mitigate against rug pulls, investment scams. What else are they doing out there? They're doing all types of crazy
Yeah.
ridiculousness out there. But we do believe that education should be a significant part of your life portfolio. And there are free and very nominal ways in order to do that. He was talking about the degrees. They also have micro degree programs. Like you said, you're getting right to
Yeah.
it.
Getting right to it. The micro degrees get right to it. They cut out the ancillary classes, and they take the classes. They get right towards the degree, and then employers like that. They want somebody who is, what do you say, educated in that career field, and
And
they
who's
take you
willing to
on.
take the time to educate themselves in that career field
Yeah.
gives you a competitive advantage when it's time to come up for that promotion.
Hmm.
Many organizations will also reimburse for the tuition at
Hmm.
school. You find out, hey, there's a course at University of Berkeley of music, depending on what it is that you do. Do you guys reimburse for this particular course? You ask their HR. A lot of times the answer is yes, because it
Yeah.
has something to do with whatever it is that you do for work. It's in line with your industry. They will reimburse you for it. So
Hmm.
you got it for free. And education is the real flex at the end of the day.
Yeah. So, and what she's talking about, I like that. Education is the flex. So you got, I mean, there's a lot of ways you can go with this, but you got the education where you can be more technical, and then
Hmm.
you have what I like is the trades where you could be more hands-on. But this is where you're at right now, right? And so these are the options, right? This ADX isn't going to give you trades and hands-on stuff, but it's going to give you the information, and it's great for people who are already educated, already employed in their career field, and can level up and can see, once you go for that promotion, right? What's on your resume to say that you deserve that promotion, and then you got other things over here that said I took time out of my personal life to educate myself here, here, and here, and it shows the want that you have to level up.
Hmm. And we talked about this in a show we did called Neuroeconomics.
Uh-oh. Neuroeconomics? Yeah.
I'm overheating on it. Um, when you learn something new, you create what's called a new neural pathway in your brain. So you guys know that your brain should, right? A brain that's being used, that's engaged, that is active, should look like a packet of oodles and noodles before it's cooked. A raw pack of oodles and noodles. That's what your brain should look like.
What's that?
People who have dementia, Alzheimer's, Lewy bodies, dementia, Robin, what is his name? Robin,
You talking about Lou Gehrig's disease?
not Lou Gehrig's disease.
ALS?
No.
Okay.
Robin, Mrs. Doubtfire, what's his name?
Okay, you talking about the comedian?
The comedian.
Yeah, what did he have?
He had Lewy bodies, dementia.
Oh, did he?
So the same thing my dad had, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Um, their brains look like oodles and noodles after it's been cooked over the 3 minutes. You know how it starts to kind of straighten out? Why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing this up because for whatever reason, when people are apprehensive about learning something new, it's because their brain has to physically create the new neural pathway. So you have these electrical impulses that dig the grooves in your brain, and it's literally work.
Hmm.
When you come across the book that's technical, you have no idea what they're talking about. The effort that you put in to break all of that down and learn and understand what they're talking about and build that to mastery requires work. That electrical impulse is going to keep digging that groove, keep digging that groove, keep digging that groove until it's nice and deep. Pause.
Uh-oh.
Like an uncooked pack of oodles and noodles. This is why the average person who doesn't engage in a lot of education, right? You have the people. I went to high school. I'm not reading anything else. I'm not learning anything else unless somebody's going to pay me to do something. And even then, they're going to give the most minimal effort towards that. It is because the body is engaged in a literal work, and they can feel that work, they can feel that effort, and many people are not comfortable with it. A body in motion stays in motion, a body at rest stays at rest. It's the same concept with your brain. If you are constantly learning something new, if you're constantly reading, if you're constantly engaging, your brain, the work doesn't feel so much because that electrical impulse is, creating these grooves, multiple grooves, right? People who are actually engaged in education, actually engaged in learning something new. Somebody who takes the time to read at least 15 to 30 minutes a day, every single day, even if it's your Bible, your brain is creating these grooves. Your brain is creating these grooves. And this is also why it's easier to recollect information. It's easier for your brain to go find the information and bring it to you. It's easier for your brain to critically think and pick apart things that don't sound, I'm gonna read all of it, that don't sound or feel right. It's because your brain is constantly engaged in this activity. So I'm going to take it away from the brain and talk to the people who work out at the gym. Somebody who already has a 6-pack, 8-pack, right? They don't feel as apprehensive about working out than somebody who's 300 pounds and hasn't worked out in 10 years.
Yes.
So it's the same. Your brain, in a sense, is kind of, so how they say your muscle, your noodle, exercise your noodle. It has the same kind of feeling. Right? So somebody who reads every day, who's engaged in education, who has these engaging conversations, who critically thinks, who asks a lot of questions, so on and so forth, it's easier for them to learn something new to mastery than it is for somebody who does not engage in that activity on a regular basis. It's the same thing, right? If you go to the gym, the girl who got the 6-pack, it's easier for her to work out 2-3 times a week, or 2-3-4-5 times a week, than the young lady who's 300 pounds and hasn't worked out in over a decade.
And I want to circle back around when she was talking about neural pathways, neuroeconomics, what we did a show on, and we can run that back if need be. People like Dr. Bruce Lipton and Dr. Joe Dispenza give great insight on this. They are doctors of
They're neuroscientists.
So they are neuroscientists, and they speak extensively about these neural pathways that are built and how you build neural pathways. If you want to, have a new thought pattern in your mind. And it kind of goes also to meditation and metaphysics, right?
The different waves that you deal with, beta wave, alpha wave, how society programs you using the television and actively engage when watching a movie versus the person who's watching the movie, I want to say in delta wave. So they're taking everything in, and their mind is being shaped and formed by the narrative that's being given to them. But we're bringing all of this up, right? So I want to get you to a real life example, right? This is how we homeschool our kids. We always give them real world example. We always give them actual life skills.
Okay.
For those of you who are serious about not just wealth building, but understanding the market, how money works, how the market works, the global market right now, and staying on top of these things. If you are following Lynn Alden and you are a bit apprehensive to learn something new, you're going to end up falling away from what she's trying to tell you when you really should be trying to break down everything she has to say. So she's got this great book. We've been reading it. It's called Broken Money, and it starts off easy at first, and then as it progresses, it becomes more technical and a lot more dry. When I say dry, I don't mean boring. It's just a lot of technical information, right? We live in a society where people like to be entertained. And that's not what this book is doing. This book is educating you.
It's education.
Right? Lynn Alden has a newsletter that she gives out every 6 weeks. When you start dealing with the big dogs, the people who are making millions, multi-millions in investments, right? They're talking about investments. They're talking about the value that this investment has over this investment that is overbought and overvalue it. It really isn't worth you putting your money in, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's going to be more technical. It's going to be what I call more mathy. And it's going to be a lot more dry and complicated. So what you want to do, this is why we say that wealth building, the generation of wealth, like generating wealth, it is multifaceted, it is multi-dynamic. It's not put your money in Bitcoin, you'll be fine. It's
Right.
more than that. And this is why hubby and I talk to you guys about all of these different things that go on your life portfolio, because it's one thing to make some money. It's another thing to really work towards generating wealth. Right? They're two very different things. One is more significant than the other. One is more complicated than the other. One is more multi-dynamic than the other. One is more multifaceted than the other. And you need all of those areas covered in order to get to those things. And when you start talking to those type of people, the Lynn Aldens, the Rao Pals, when you start talking to them, you begin to understand there's a lot that I need to learn. There's a lot that I need to be working on. There's a lot of things I need to be looking at. There's a lot of things I need to kind of get a better grasp on. Right? It's more than trading on this MLM, MLM platform, right? Where you can win the trade or lose the trade. As soon as people start talking to me like that, I'm like, okay, I'm not here to persuade anybody to do anything, right? And I'm not going to argue with anybody. If they like this, I'm glad you like it. It means you did your due diligence and this works for you. What I am here to just kind of give you guys some insight on, right? We're just here to give a little bit of insight. If you are a person who is like, you know what, I probably should read more. I need to be more engaged.
Yes.
I need to look a little deeper into this.
Yes.
I need to kind of settle down and nail down the details of the actual market and a lot of the market signals. I need to look at the local economy as well as the global economy. I need to understand what economics 101 actually is. Don't be ashamed to be like, you know what? I need to step my game up with this. I need to come out of economics 101 and move to economics 202. Right? And I need to build on that and get to economics 303 and finally to 404. I need to understand global economics and how it affects us here in the local economy. I need to understand that when they're talking about these things, what these things mean.
Yes.
If I need to relearn percentages, go on and take that remedial course. You need it. Right? Some people say stuff like, I went to the supermarket. Eggs used to be 99 cents. Now they are $1.10. Not a big deal. But when you do the percentage, it is a big deal. And hubby does that all the time. Right? Hubby, he doesn't talk to me in dollars and cents. He'll say, you know what, Aaron, I went to go get you some salmon. I went to get you some fresh salmon. And the inflation took it at almost a 75% increase.
And why that's important? Because the CPI will tell you that there's a certain rate of inflation. And the inflation rate that they give you is what I call bogus. It's not real, because they take into account certain things that they will make the inflation rate about. But like she said, what about the average person who goes to buy eggs? She said it goes from 99 cents to $1.10. That's right around 12% inflation, right? As a person who has a job, do you get a 12% raise every year?
Never.
So now your raise isn't keeping up with inflation of things that you buy every day. We're not talking about buying real estate and this other stuff. We're talking about the stuff you have to buy every day: eggs, bread, milk,
Clothes,
gasoline,
daycare.
All this stuff is going up way above the inflation rate that the CPI gives us as inflation. So you have to calculate your own inflation rate. What do you spend most of your money on? And then you have to calculate, man, how much higher is my internet bill going, right?
Right?
My
Internet bill,
my
phone bill,
electricity bill. I mean, just all the stuff that
rent,
you pay every year. Is it going up more than?
5% your rent for sure.
Well, I'm just saying more than your raise.
Yes. And it always is.
And if you're not a worker, if your investments, right? People are like, oh, if you get back 8% on an investment, you did good. But is it covering the rate of inflation? Inflation is a big deal as far as, and also too with your foreign currencies, because I know a lot of people like to trade foreign currencies, forex, and are you getting that back?
Is there an arbitrage in it? But I'm
Yeah.
glad he brought that up because the other thing you have to sit down and do, we just talked about if you know goals, you have to now sit down and readjust your financial goals, right? So things are going up, which means if you're not making certain adjustments, you're investing less because you're spending more, right? And you haven't changed your program. You haven't relooked at your financial goals that you had set, right?
Yep.
So now you have to adjust and reset those goals. And sometimes that means looking at what you're spending your money on and saying, can I spend less in things I consume in order to continue investing the way that I desire to invest?
Mhm.
Unfortunately, what a lot of people do is they say, because my medical went up, because the groceries went up, daycare went up, this went up, that went up, I now have to invest less in my 401k. I have to invest less than my silver. I have to invest less in order to cover it over here. And you're like, no, 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 no. You want to look at your consumption and see
Yeah.
if you can spend less so you can continue to invest. Now, it's one thing if you can't invest any more money, but you never want to cut your investment down in order to spend more here.
Yeah.
Sometimes for certain people in certain situations, unfortunately, it is a reality. But if you can help it by just making certain adjustments, that means doing a little bit less so you can have more later on down the line. And this is why we push low time preference, delayed self gratification. Can you make something else work?
Yeah.
Right? I love getting my nails done. The price for acrylic is absolutely and utterly ridiculous in the United States. It's kind of going up here. Press on nails work for me, right? They barely cost $3 US. They last for the same 2 weeks. They look nice on
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
hands,
Same
and I don't
tweets.
give a shit if somebody's like, "Oh, she's wearing press on nails." They look nice. So
Um.
you want to see where you could adjust because I think an acrylic set in the United States can go as high as $150 to $200.
Oh, so you know more. I don't know about that, but
Yeah,
I'll take your
especially if
word
they're
for it.
getting like the Cardi B kind of like those
Hey.
long ones,
Yeah.
the
I can
acrylic
imagine. I can
stick.
imagine that. I can
Right.
imagine that.
So, that's like up. That's the bill we're gonna get down right now.
So let me ask. Well, I was gonna have you read this, and I wanted to
Yeah,
ask you a
let me
question.
talk to you guys out here. Robin Williams, thank you if you know you know. I was like, Robin, y'all know I have seizures.
Robin Williams. Yeah.
My brain be like, we ain't going to collect nothing for you today.
Robin. Oh, not SpongeBob.
Tron 7000 said, you guys provide quality content and we truly appreciate it. And we truly appreciate you, Tron, for supporting us. We really appreciate you
Tron,
guys.
can I ask you a question? Tron 77.
7,000.
I'm sorry, Tron 7000. Is that Tron from the movie Tron?
I
Am
thought it
I
was.
am
I
I
think
showing
yeah.
my am I
That's
showing
his
my age?
that's their thumbnail because I don't know if it's male or female, but that's their thumbnail from the movie.
Okay, I'm showing my age.
Art
Tron.
patron, appreciate y'all continuing education. Art patron said, wow, it's been a while. So I'm thinking that person used to watch our show, and then I'm glad that you're back.
Yeah.
Nerd Up Inc. said, peace, family, great information. If you know, you know, thank you for tilting my crown, Robin Williams. This is why I have to stay engaged, right? I have the seizure, so I got to keep my brain, because stuff just fly out the window. Cryptonomics, what's going on? Thank you for joining us. John Robinson, Stronghold tokens on sale now, family. Get you some. Tron 7000, yes, the movie. Was it when I said Mrs. Doubtfire, that movie?
No,
I
you're talking
can't
about
remember.
Tron. The
Oh,
movie
Tron the movie.
Tron.
Yes, the movie. Okay,
Tron.
got you,
Yeah,
got you.
yeah. I'm showing my age. I'm sorry.
Voice crypto. What time do y'all usually come on? It's a very good question. We don't have times set in stone because, again, I do work a full-time job. Hubby and I do run our own 2 businesses.
Mm-hmm.
We full-time homeschool the kids to a collegiate level. We don't want to set a time and then not be able to make it. We would
Yeah.
rather have a little bit of flexibility in the day in order to come on.
We try to pop
I
on.
don't know how to get around it. We're not sponsored. We don't get paid for this. We want to give you the information free and we want to be consistent, but it's hard to nail down a day and a time. And we still have a small little one who requires our time and attention. So we appreciate y'all being real fluid and flexible with us.
Yes, we do.
When it comes to Simon wants to shoot the podcast more often, which I think we've been doing
I think so.
okay with. But it is hard for us to have a fix, right? Just because of all of the obligations and responsibilities we have on top of us already.
Yeah, on top of that, and if we try to get guests on,
we have to accommodate them.
We have to exactly. We have to accommodate them and their time. So we don't have a fixed time. I don't know how we can give you guys a notification when we're going live.
I mean, we could tweet it.
Yeah, that's all I can do is tweet.
But yeah, so what we will work on, and we'll work on that tonight when we do the goal stuff. We'll work on fixed days that we can do. Like a Saturday could be a fixed day. A Monday can be a fixed day.
And then we just fixed time.
I wouldn't do the fixed time. I would definitely do the fixed day because if we have an opportunity to do a little bit earlier.
Got you.
Right. So the time will be fluid, but hubby and I are going to sit when we do our goals and stuff tonight. We'll work out fixed days. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays are horrible, horrible days for me. And it's not that they're absolute, we could do it. It's a lot of meetings. It's a lot of collaborative calls and stuff like that on those. And I just don't want to be tired when we come to y'all. I like to, when I'm here, I'm present with y'all. I got the energy. I can laugh. My brain is actually it's not shutting down because it's been up since 4 a.m. So we're going to work on maybe a more fixed schedule of Voice Crypto to see if that will help a little bit. But we have a lot on our plate every single day.
Yeah. So but we try to pop in and give you the most information we can on the days that we are available.
Yeah.
So Voice Crypto, hit us up on Facebook, and then we can send you, messages and things like that when we're gonna go.
And then
live
maybe we'll do
like
better
that.
with tweeting. When we do know exactly when, that might help a lot. So we'll work on those things for sure. That'll be goals for the podcast. We'll add it to there.
Oh, most definitely goals. And so I did want to circle back to the education because I do believe education is key. It is very key, especially in this cryptocurrency investment space. We're dealing right with that. There are a lot of courses on there that teach you about blockchain. If you want to just know about blockchain, we talked about the course that we took through MIT with Gary Gensler. Okay, everybody's favorite person, Gary Gensler.
It was a great course, but it was very dry and technical.
But he's very informative, even though now he's a
turncoat.
He turned on us. He turned on us, y'all. But he was giving good game back then. This is probably 2018 course, and now he turned on us, and he took the bag. But he still gave good information. You get these courses from people. It's Harvard. These are Harvard professors giving you courses, and they're not playing around. They're very, very intelligent, and you can learn a lot from these people. And it's just a course, like she said, you tack it on to your LinkedIn, let people know that you're serious about leveling up. And it's not a free resource, but it's a nominal fee that she says, and it also helps your overall resume.
I think so. If nothing else, you want to keep your brain engaged. You want to have the ability that if life gets thrown at you, you have the ability and the capacity
Mm.
to learn something new, to mastery. If something comes along and your industry changes, your industry becomes obsolete because of technological advances, you need to be able to shift and move to something else,
Mm.
right? Simon and I worked in healthcare for a long time. My heart is in healthcare, it's always been.
Yeah.
But healthcare was becoming an industry known for burnout.
Okay.
And you had to physically go to work. You had to spend a lot of time on shift. It wasn't ideal for young parents. Um, by the grace of the Almighty One, the Holy One, I had an opportunity to interview for a tech position.
Okay.
Now, one thing your girl gonna do, she gonna rock an interview, right? And she's gonna do whatever she needed to do to get through the interview because y'all got to train me anyway. Okay? But I do have the capacity and the commitment to learn something new if it means that the greater benefit is for my husband and my children.
Mm.
I'm one of those women. I like to be at home. I like to cook, and I love taking care of small children. At the time, we had 3 small children. And
Mm-hmm.
it was important that my work and personal life balance were put together. So I was willing to do whatever it took to change industries in order to better benefit my family. And I haven't looked back since. I've only looked forward. There's a lot to learn in my industry because I am relatively new to it. So again, having the commitment and the capacity to learn something new, to really finesse it. Here's the other thing. What happens is the people who have been in the industry a long time,
Okay.
who I don't want to say they take for granted their experience because of the time they spend in there, but you end up being able to kind of close that gap between you and them. You end up being able to come alongside of them relatively quickly, right? So while you don't have the time and tenure behind you, you have the discipline and the commitment to close that gap between you and that person next to you. That person's been in the industry for 8 years. You've only been in the industry for 3, 4 years. Your discipline and your commitment to really learning it is what could help kind of put you over the edge for a promotion, could put you over the edge for that business opportunity, could put you over the edge for that sponsorship, and so on and so forth. And that's why I said at the end of the day, when you're looking at these things in this way, you want to understand, how can I get a competitive advantage?
Yeah.
How can I get a more competitive edge if inflation, they're saying it's 8%, 10%, it's 40%, right? How can I get a competitive advantage? You always want to be thinking. You always want to be thinking. You always want to be thinking. And you want to figure out the right questions to ask yourself so you can put the right plan in place. When we talk about strategy and methodology, that's some real shit we talking to y'all about. It means getting into a quiet place and just really looking at things, analyzing things. Where is the arbitrage? I'm going to find it. I
Mm.
just need to figure out where it is and what I need to do in order to get the competitive edge to really grasp that arbitrage. Whether it's an arbitrage of 3% or 300%,
Yeah.
I'm going to find that arbitrage.
She's gonna find it. That's what she's gonna do.
And that's what you want to be kind of working on. And that's what this education aspect in your life portfolio is all about.
Yes, it is. And I was going to read something. Very, it's not very technical, but I'll read it anyway. It says something for people to understand. I was wondering. I'll go right here. So everybody knows that 10,000 hours is what you want to mastery,
It's the
right?
threshold to mastery.
Threshold when you cross over mastery, and then you begin to. So for you guys who are familiar with the author Malcolm Gladwell. I think people are familiar with him in different books he has. So he says you need 10,000 hours of deliberate practice to mention Gladwell. He's saying 417 days worth of hours, or which calculates out to 3 hours a day for 3,333 days. So that'd be a little bit under 9 years. That'd be over 9 years.
Over 9 years, a little bit
But
under 10 years.
under 10 years. So he's saying 3 hours a day for 9+ years will get you mastery in any field.
The minimum threshold of mastery. And it's important for me to say that.
She
Because
says
there's a
She's right.
difference from getting to the minimum threshold of mastery,
Yep.
right? So let's do it in terms of parenthood. We're going to do it in terms of parenthood.
Don't do that.
I'm going to do it. So
You need a 9-year-old?
a parent who has a 10-year-old versus a parent who has a 22-year-old, the level of mastery is very different. Been there, done that, right? Versus the parent who has 3 22-year-olds because they had to do it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, a couple of more times. You have to be able to really, you understand what I'm saying? So if you just looked at the mastery, you can see there are different varying degrees of mastery. The 10,000 hours, your 10-year-old is the minimum of mastery because your 10-year-old is still a child. While they have a bit of independence and autonomy, you still have to actively parent that child.
And this is what she's talking about is how you see Big Mama, right?
Grandma,
She got mastery because she done raised kids.
To adulthood, still raising them in adulthood.
And that's why Big Mama got so much game.
She got the grandchildren and the great grands, and she's done it 22 times. I've done this now. However many grandchildren I have, right? I've done this 52 times already with my great grands.
How many grandchildren does your aunt have?
Auntie Yvonne has 56 grandchildren and great grandchildren.
So put together.
So she had 8 children. Those 8 children had hella kids. Them hella kids had hella kids, and so on and so forth. She don't even know nobody's name anymore. She's 86. She's in great shape. She looks fantastic. Very beautiful woman.
Yeah.
So her mastery as a grandmother is going to be more significant than my mother's mastery as a grandmother, and I'm gonna tell you why too. She had a lot of hands-on with the grandchildren. So while the older kids are out, not doing whatever they're supposed to be doing, the grandkids live there and stuff like that, she's got a different level of mastery. My mother never had to take custody of her grandchildren.
Also, she has a level of mastery where she was the older child, so
she's also an older child,
raising her younger sister.
Right. So her level of mastery in parenthood is different. And I'm just giving y'all an analogy where you can just kind of see it easier. My mother never had to take custody of her grandchildren. Myself and my older brother were fairly autonomous kids. We did what we supposed to do. We never really got in trouble, stuff like that. So she didn't have to do a significant amount of.
Yes, she did not. And also with her daughter, and we'll go biblical here, her daughter went from her
father's house to my husband's house almost immediately. So I've been Aaron Simon longer than I've ever been Aaron Ogle, and that's my maiden name. And I'm only 42 years old. I'm going to be 43 in about 2 weeks.
No, for real?
3 weeks? 3 weeks.
I'll be there.
He'll be. His birthday coming up next week.
No. Y'all don't tell me how. Don't tell.
He don't want me to tell y'all how old he is, but he old.
Yeah. So, but I'll be there for her party. I'll probably throw her party.
Don't listen to him, y'all.
Okay.
No party. Just me and you this year. No party.
Okay,
I just want it to be just us.
No fiesta.
I don't want a whole bunch of people. I don't do a whole bunch of people on my birthday.
But no.
But anyway, so we were going into all of that just so you can kind of, see visually the difference in mastery. Even when we do this show, the way we talk to you guys, this is how we homeschool our kids. It's a little bit more hands-on, not so lecture-y because they're younger kids, but this is the game we giving the kids because I'm like, he's like, because he's the professor, he runs the curriculum, he puts the curriculum together, but we get rid of some of the fluff.
Yeah.
In order to give them, we always want to give them a real world application. We always want to give an example of a real world application, right? You want to know why you need to use algebra? Because life is algebraic. You constantly have to solve the problem for X. Sometimes you don't even know what the problem is, and you still got to come up with a solution for it. So we always want to give real world applications so you can see yourself successful in the examples that we give you, because that's how we see issues. I never see an issue as a problem. I see it as a, how am I going to be successful in this thing? And that's why we tell you mindset's going to be different. Mindset's always going to be different. It just depends on how you look at something.
Mm-hmm.
This could be a stumbling block, or it can be a mathematical problem where you can say, how can I see myself successful in this situation? And that's the solution.
Mm.
Jake Fever at
That's
Crypto
heavy.
Economics. Why did you dodge that Reggie Middleton smoke? Oh, Jake, you gotta tell us a little bit about that. Where was Reggie Middleton on?
He gave us a smoke.
No, he was talking to Cryptonomics. He
Oh,
said,
I'm
"Why
saying,
did you
oh
dodge that
no,
Reggie Middleton
I
smoke?"
didn't know he gave us.
Where was Reggie? And we haven't seen Reggie
No,
Middleton
he was
in a minute.
on the King Bless birthday.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, ready. He came on at the end. Yeah.
Is he old like you, or is he young?
I
He's a
don't-
young guy.
Yeah, we're all young guys.
You think so?
Yeah, we're young guys.
He said we're all young guys.
Dang, I was about to say something.
Jake always coming in here trolling people, but you got the right one because Cryptonomics gonna troll you back.
Oh.
He's gonna troll you right back. But that was really. Did you have anything else you want?
Oh no, for my black people in education, tomorrow would be January 21st. So for my black people, education, maybe homeschool education, or just any education. Tomorrow is the day that a great freedom fighter of ours was assassinated. Patrice Lumumba was assassinated on January 21st. So if you want to dig into Patrice Lumumba, if you guys are familiar with him, his history, great freedom fighter out of the DRC. He fought against Belgium.
Yeah.
And he was assassinated with the help of the United States.
Of course.
Of course, right? And the J. Edgar Hoover, the director of the FBI. And so, yep. So tomorrow, think about Patrice Lumumba. He was a great man. He did great things. One of the greatest freedom fighters we've had, especially for our Pan-Africanists. He was a great freedom fighter. So look into Patrice Lumumba. Tomorrow is the day of his assassination. I prefer to celebrate people's birthdays instead of their death dates, but we still got to do it, right? And so check that out.
The other thing I want to tell you guys, in addition to learning about money and stuff, history. We take y'all down the road to history all the time. History helps you to not make the same mistakes that was made in the past.
Yes.
It also helps you to forecast the future, especially when certain aspects of history is cyclical, right? For you parents out there, I get it, right? If your kids are enrolled in school, you have days that look like hours where you're just like, my day is so packed full. I don't know that I have it in me to supplement their education.
Good word.
Just do 3 hours one Saturday a week, right? During the school year. I would do it all year long. I would let that be a 52-week kind of thing.
Yes.
But you really want to, and put the curriculum together. For the first hour, we're going to do some type of real world skill. For the second hour, we're going to do something with history. For the third hour, we're going to do something with technology. And then you can, two Saturdays a month, you can do it that way. And then the other 2 Saturdays a month, you can do 3 new things, right? And that way you can have some type of consistency and a diversification of their educational portfolio. You can take that time to see what they're struggling with in school and spend those 3 hours strengthening and leveraging their weaknesses and their strengths in school, right? If you can't do something completely new. There's a lot of successful solutions to minor problems when it comes to wealth generation, legacy building. Those are your children. That's your legacy. And if their education's kind of spotty, you definitely want to leverage that weakness, right? Maybe you read a book for an hour and they'll read their book for an hour and y'all sit on the couch together and read together. There's a lot of, I'm a mommy, right? I love mommying. If there was ever a better job than mommying, I don't know if it exists, but I love mommying. So I'm always trying to find ways to do stuff with my babies, whether they're 22 or 6, those are my babies. So really understanding what your babies need how you can nurture them. You are the nation builder, ladies, right? Whether you like it or not, whether you enjoy it or not, you are the nation builder. I want to see the boss bitches nation build. That's what I want to see y'all do. I don't want to hear about your eyelash business. I don't want to hear about you selling life insurance and this is how much money you make. I want to hear about your nation building and your legacy building. That's what I want to hear about because that's what matters. When you die, that's it. It's over. There's nothing left. Did you leave something? Did you leave something that was able to get passed on? The legacy building, that's what we should be focused on. Not fighting with the men, not the men fighting with the women. We have to figure out a way to get rid of that narrative that they are exploiting and making money on, coming together and building something. You're either building or you're destroying. There's no in between.
Shout out to the 5% nation.
No in between. Whether you believe in gods of the earth or the 5%, that's an actual thing. You're either building something or you're destroying it. And we all know in what direction this shit is going in. If y'all continue to argue with each other, you're not having kids, kids is all over, and all of that other foolishness. It is destroying the community. Let's start looking at how can I be successful at nation building? What can I be doing?
Nation building, yeah. And what can we do? But in that vein, read this right here.
Oh, he said they were supposed to debate a while back. Oh, and Cryptonomics didn't show up. Okay, what was the debate about? I'm being nosy now. What's the debate about? Like, what's the conversation about? While Jake is typing his answer, you know, it's January. This is the best time ever for you guys to put your goals together and stuff like that. Sit down tonight and meditate on what the best educational goal for you is. So one more thing I want to give you on how important education is and the time in the education. When you get sick and you call 911 and the ambulance shows up at your door, he couldn't even put that uniform on until thank you, baby, until he had X number of clinical hours. Your doctor has to have X number of clinical hours. Your nurse has to have X number of clinical hours of practice, right? And that is for your safety. So understand what we mean. If that works for that, we want to have X number of clinical hours of practice as parents. We want to have X number of clinical hours of practice as investors. You are practicing investing, and it really is a practice, y'all. It ain't science, like they say. The manipulation of the market is just too much. You want to know, what do your clinical hours look like? Do you need to supplement your clinical hours? Are you so hardcore like Kobe Bryant? They like, I can back my hours down and put it into something else. Career-wise, do you need to commit to some clinical hours so that you can be more optimal in your industry? Right? Volunteer hours. How many hours of volunteer do you have? How many hours do you practice as a volunteer? How many hours do you practice in some of the areas in your life portfolio, things that you do? Is there an arbitrage you can gain by learning more about it, by being more skillful, right? If the skill was a sword, how sharp is your sword?
I like that.
Can't cut nothing with a dull sword.
I actually love that. I love that.
So start asking yourself these questions and put together a nice educational goal. It will help you a lot in strategy and methodology in your wealth building, income generation, wealth generation, legacy building, et cetera, in your life portfolio.
And you know, I don't mean to be funny, but I'm gonna be honest. My wife will tell you, for you people who are into astrology, they will ask you. There's a breakdown of the people in the world and the astrological signs that they are. What is the most prevalent astrological sign?
Was it Taurus?
No.
Sagittarius?
No.
No, we're the smallest.
We're the smallest.
Aquarius is the smallest. We're the smallest population, Aquarians.
Yeah.
And then I want to say Taurus is the largest because of their conception date.
No, you go out about 9 months. Talking about Virgos.
Virgos are the most prevalent?
Yeah, because we're all cooped up in January, in
No,
December.
Virgos are September, babe.
But we're cooped up in
Oh,
December
I get what
and
you're saying.
September.
Their conception.
Yeah, that
Right.
we cooped up. So be careful out here. Y'all gonna be making Virgos.
Oh, I get what he's saying. I get it now. Okay. We were that summer love, huh?
Yeah.
I got what he's saying. He's saying y'all get to education, don't be making all these babies.
Exactly.
But
That's
if
what I
you
was
make
saying.
the babies and you're into mommying,
Raise the baby.
start looking at what your nation building looks like. Like, I'm serious. I want us to take that more seriously. We're not. We're sending these children off into the world and telling them, I had to figure it out, you figure it out. Well, they ain't asked you to come here.
Yeah,
So we should be
just showed up.
collaborative in them figuring out their life and giving them the best head start we possibly can, especially in the Black community. It's a lot of foolishness I hear women say to their children, and I don't like it at all. Like, don't treat your children like that. Legacy builders don't treat their children like that. As soon as they're born, they have a plan for them. Now, do the kids like the plan? A lot of times they don't, but in the end, they end up wealthy and they good to go. But we got to do better. We got to do better, and we need to start examining the areas where we can do better and where we can be our most optimal self.
Yeah.
And I think education is a great start.
Yeah, and so that pretty much will be the close to our life portfolio series. If you guys would like to hear anything else or you have any requests.
Well, it's the close to the educational series, but not necessarily the life portfolio.
Yeah, we're going to go on and talk about other things, but she has great shows that she has in mind, so we're going to do those shows. Might have a couple guests, but if we need to go back to life portfolio and open it up.
Yeah, because my next show is called Fair to Launch, and we're going to talk about everybody's out here flexing their wins, and nobody shows you their losses and how big those losses are before they win. We're going to talk about the losses and how important failure is to success. And people don't talk about those things, but we're going to talk about it. Kyle, our social media links are in the drop down.
Yeah.
I think Facebook's on there.
Twitter should be on there.
Twitter. I don't know if Twitter's on there. I may
Okay.
have to put Twitter on there. I'll put Twitter on there, you guys. For those of you, we don't sell y'all anything. We're not asking y'all to enroll in the subscription to get the game we give you. We give you everything free. What we are going to ask you is to subscribe to our YouTube page. Simon and I want to start doing some more specialized videos that may not need to go on the Gentlemen of Cryptos, because we're going to be talking some real stuff, and I don't want to put their channel in jeopardy of getting shut down if it's too real. So we're going to ask that you guys get in the habit of subscribing to our YouTube page and sharing the content, liking the content. We would really appreciate that. We would never sell you anything. We don't ask you for money, but we are asking for your support. I'm going to say around February-ish, Simon and I want to start having, I'm calling them more technical shows as well. But they're going to be telling the guys honest truth, and I just don't want to put the Gentlemen of Crypto's channel in jeopardy because we were being too real. So it is something, it's content you'll only be able to get on our YouTube page. It is not a Patreon account. You will not have to pay for the real, but you do have to be subscribed in order to be present for the real, and that's all we're asking. So we hope you guys have a great Saturday. 7:36 p.m. on the East Coast, 6:36 Central Time where we are locally. And we still have a few more things we need to do this evening before we close out our evening. So we're going to let you get back to yours, and we're going to get back to ours. Be safe, be warm, and look over your goals tonight. Start just thinking about what you want to do educationally to optimize yourself.
And be careful with those Virgo babies that's coming.
God.
Okay?
Virgo baby.
It's warm. when it's cold outside. I
I
ain't gonna
know.
go there. All
Bye,
right,
y'all.
y'all.
We love y'all.